If you want to go, I'm Pat.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey. Pat just ate a bunch of tacos.
This is coffee before bed,
Yeah, Pat just ate a bunch of tacos.
after tacos.
Right.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm fine.
With the tacos, I mean.
They're great. I made them myself.
Oh, I bet you're proud of
I
yourself.
am proud of myself. It's like the easiest fucking thing in the world to make too. So
Yeah.
they're way easy. It was like this mystery that Taco Bell was hanging on to, like from the sands of Egypt or something. No,
Oh
it's-
yeah, I know. I know. It was translated from a long dead fucking civilization. It's
They
like
had to get off that stone that has like 3 different languages. on
yeah,
it.
the Rosetta Stone.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Rosetta Stone.
fucking. And they, broke it down through those 3 different languages and discovered it's like, well, you have to cook a meat. It's like, yeah. It's like the rest of the stuff is just stuff. It's just
optional.
ingredients. Yeah.
What do you have in the house?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to a point, you can't go in there and say like, I got taco meat and jelly beans and fucking Easter grass.
Right, yeah, exactly. Well, I guess as long as you have tortillas, you're okay. So I think,
You know, and the same thing goes. It's not that complicated. I mean, if you want to turn around there too and then say like, hey, you want to get exotic? I'm gonna make burritos.
right, yeah, it's just a completed taco. Yeah.
It's a technique.
Right, exactly. It's how you roll it. Well, so whenever I did burritos, if I have tortillas that are large enough to do burritos, I will do burritos instead of tacos.
Sure.
So, but I rarely have those because you got to get the pizza pan size ones, and those don't fit my freezer. So,
I understand.
yeah, because I like the little ones, the like 5-inch ones or
Yeah.
6-inch ones, because they come in that stack. You just put that in the freezer, and then if it's taco night, you just grip off a chunk of them off top, leave them out for like an hour. You're good to go, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't make tacos that often, and I don't make that many tacos. I mean, you want to
Right.
talk about something that's worthless for a guy, unless I'm going to make tacos every night, or
Yeah.
if,
You got a panini fryer though, man.
Yeah.
That'd be good to have if I was gonna make. Yeah.
because you take those big ones and you make quesadillas instead.
Right. Yeah. So actually, breakfast quesadillas sound pretty awesome. Right now.
Breakfast quesadillas are always a good bet. Made quite a few of those. As a matter of fact, I even, on top of that thing, you just use the bottom grill, you use those little egg cookers.
What the bowls? The thing that looks like a cat food bowl.
They're just the rings.
Oh, those! I just got some of those
Yeah.
finally.
Basically, yeah, you're making McMuffin type eggs. You just put those in there. If you really want to be fancy, you can stir it up and do that. But if you just want the base egg in there, you take 2 of those things, right? Just throw the egg in there so that the yolk is still cooking.
Yeah.
Right? Put those between 2 slices of bread and some cheese. Squish it down so that the
Yeah.
yolks
I've done
break.
that.
You have
I
a
don't like
wet
my eggs
breakfast
that way
sandwich.
though. But yeah, no, the classic McMuffin style. Yeah.
That's also fine. Yeah.
No, I like mine scrambled, so I just whisk it up and then put it in the
Oh,
egg ring.
totally fine.
Yeah. There's something about me that has just never liked egg whites. Ever. Like, yes, its own substance on its own. And I'm not a fan. I don't know why.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean,
It's just,
um,
yeah. And yeah, it's...
that's not what you're really doing that for. You're doing that to kind of like isolate the yolk itself.
Yeah, but I don't like gooey yolk either. So... Eggs, I'm kind of fickle about my eggs, man. So...
So it seems.
Yeah, I really am. So, like, all other breakfast foods are... I'm pretty flexible, but eggs are not one of those.
Have you ever eaten a raw egg?
Yeah, I have. I was much younger, so it was a bad bet. I immediately threw it up. Yeah.
Oh.
I was like 12 or 13. I was at camp, so yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, man. They're not
Yeah.
that gross. I
I don't know what it was, man. It just triggered me.
no, it's fine. No, it's I guess whatever it is, the texture or the whatever it is of water chestnuts is vile to me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way with like artichoke hearts. I think they're gross.
I'll eat them, but
Yeah.
not by choice. I mean,
No.
this is what you have. Like,
Yeah.
but frankly, I would never buy the things. I would never prepare the things. They have no reason to be in my house. They're not that nutritious.
What, artichoke hearts?
No,
Oh.
they're not really that good for you. Like if you're gonna eat like something in that even like same kind of realm, and you want to actually get health benefits for it, just go for the avocado instead.
Oh, right, yeah.
And those, yes, they are gross. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, no, they're hideous. Well, you use whole ones, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. The first time I tried doing that was a little bit of an experiment, man.
Well, you're like, what the fuck is
What
this
is
thing?
this?
Yeah,
Is it coconut?
it's and depending on when you got it, it's either this, this kind of like paste, sort of like sticking to this moon core, or it's this rock.
Yeah,
right?
I got one that was rock.
And you, okay, so
I remember expecting to cut it open like guacamole would automatically come out of it.
I didn't know what to think. I didn't know. I like I'd had the guacamole, but I mean, like I had no idea how it is before it's processed, and then and then
I thought it was just guacamole in a natural wrapper. It was not.
depending on the one you get, man, it can be squishy enough to do that. I know how to find the good ones now, but yeah, and just because I eat the fucking things doesn't mean I like them. I mean, it's really good for you, and my whole problem is if to make them taste good, you have to add like a ton of salt.
Oh yeah.
And you're crossing your own boundary. But I mean, again, it kicks the shit out of an artichoke. I mean, I'll tell you that much. That's
I haven't had an artichoke in ages,
Fucking
man.
artichoke.
Like the only place I've ever really had it was like fancy restaurants and shit. So or like mid-tier restaurants that are aspiring to be fancy.
Oh yeah.
So you get like
yeah.
artichoke heart
Yeah.
dip or something like that, and it's like, what is this? Why is this in my salad? It's like, what's this clot of snot in the middle of my salad?
There is some of
Yeah.
that. And the same thing. Like again, I don't really hate asparagus. I wouldn't cook it on my own, but it doesn't taste that great. It makes your pee stink. So I mean,
it
like
turns your pee kind of green, man.
it's fucking
So
gross.
it is
So,
gross. I'd much rather have broccoli. So yeah.
I'd much rather have broccoli, or I'd take green beans from a fucking can before I.
I don't mind green beans from a can, to tell you the truth, man.
Yeah, but it's not good eating.
No, it's not good eating. I mean, so like I spoil myself. I have green beans at least once or twice a week.
Mm.
So that's because I go to the Costco and I get the big sack of frozen ones. They're
Okay.
fucking amazing. And so there's a little restaurant trick with that. When you steam them, you just do a little butter and a little sugar in them. So, and they're awesome. And like broccoli is the same way for me. I always have it in the house, man. So yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way to actually like cook asparagus. So yeah.
No, and that's again, I'm not. I guess here's the thing. I'm not taking this in the way of, hey, if you enjoy this, you belong in the sewers. Get back in there. You're not. We surface people don't tolerate you. It's
Wrote the rules of a car.
yeah. It's not that you're not a freak. I'm not judging you for enjoying this. I'm just speaking from my own experience of things that people say like you're going to enjoy this. And again, I'm not trying to be picky about this. Patrick, I know there's 750 million things more that I like than you, and
Oh yeah.
quintuple that over William.
Yeah, no, I'd say I've got him lapped a couple times too. So
So
but he's not here to defend himself. So
no, but what that means is that we double his bail and put out a warrant for his arrest.
Not $5 in time served. So.
Yeah, that's how that works. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough thing. There's a number of things that people have expressed as, say, these are I don't want to say delicacies because I don't think really anybody around here would be so. I don't know how to say it. Be so like pompous as to
Mm.
really try to flex a palate on me nowadays.
So it depends on the crowd that you're running with, man. So like I've seen people do it over things like barbecue, you know.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. So you're talking the blue collar
the
palate.
blue collar palette.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've certainly seen plenty of guys do it over beer. So
Got it.
yeah. I've only been to a few parties where
Got
you
it.
were expected to know at least something about wine. So, um,
What do you know?
I know that they come in red, white, and a bit of both. Um,
Because that's what rosé.
Rosé,
Yeah.
yeah. I know that Prosecco is something you never get drunk off of. So,
What you can't or
you can. You're gonna get really sick. So,
oh, okay.
it's basically like Italian fucking champagne.
Oh, that's a warning. It's not
a
a
warning.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Okay.
it's a warning. It's they don't do that. So, and I know what is it? There's two types of Pinots.
Pinot Noir and Pinot Grigio.
Grigio, thank you. There's
Yeah.
a white one. Yeah. So that's about the extent of my wine knowledge. I'm not too up to speed. I don't drink wine, man. So
No, nor do I. I
I'll
mean,
be lucky if I have it twice a year. So
it's more than me. Yeah, it's definitely more than me. And this is again, uh, I don't know if it's just an extremely acquired taste or not, but wine doesn't click with me. It doesn't. It's never. It's never enhanced the flavor of a meal for me.
uh, I don't know. My in-laws, they know their wine. They got a wine cooler in their house, so one of those mini fridges
Oh, yeah.
that's got the rack in it and
Yeah.
stuff. And so they used to belong to this club that would ship them wine every month or something like that. And so you pick out like one or two for dinner. And I don't know. I would say that it actually does complement some things like beef. So, but it's gonna completely depend on how it's prepared. So,
Yeah, but here's the problem, though, right? See, the thing is, I don't like the taste of it.
yeah, that's not gonna work for you then.
Right,
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
like even if it complements it, it's like, all right, well this and I've gone to, I've talked to the sommelier, I've said, bring me something, blah blah blah, you know your business. The only thing that happens is like, well, it complements it in the sense that when you drink it, you're tasting something you don't like, and then you go back to something you do. So I don't.
It's like going from the pool to the hot tub and back.
Well, I mean, no, because that would be you kind of like both those sensations
okay.
here,
I
right?
don't
It's more so like, God, it's like electroshock therapy. It's like
I like it when it's off.
exactly, yeah. It's like you stop thinking about how much you like this steak, by
Can I just eat more steak, please? I
Yeah,
don't know who did it.
so imagine instead of sipping your Peroni, you put your tongue to a 9 volt and then
Oh, gross.
and went back to your lasagna.
Right.
It's the lasagna's going to taste even better, but
I always like Peroni though. So
that's what
Yeah.
I do.
yeah. Even though that's like Italian Bud Light, from what I understand.
Yeah, but it's not Bud Light.
But it's not Bud Light.
No.
Yeah. Which might cease to exist as a brand.
See, that's the other. This is much like COVID before it, right? This is one of those things where you kept saying like, "Nah, it's not a big. Nah, it's
not
just
that big.
it's
a
just a
deal.
couple of
It's just a
ignorant
couple
rednecks who are
ignorant
mad."
rednecks,
It's like
the company's huge. There's no way they. Oh well, actually, most of their clientele, they really did matter to them. Cool. So I didn't realize how many fucking people watch Tucker Carlson. Got it. So
I mean, I get it. You're right more often than not when it comes to
yeah.
dissecting my big deal meter. But
Well, your big deal meter is pretty sensitive sometimes. So, but that's the thing is like, so since mine's got very low sensitivity, so I always run the risk of having a false negative, which is much worse than having a false positive. So I get false negatives, you get false positives. It kind of works out.
No, look, I get it because look, we have to run our metal detectors at two different ranks and sensitivities, right? Which means, yes, I'm at the surface here, right? Well, actually, I go all the way, like, that's the thing is I go deep. And that means I find a lot of like fucking bottle caps, and it's like, oh, all these things are doubloons, right? So so I get a lot of like fish hooks and fucking
False positives, yes. Yeah.
but you on the other hand, it's like, well, I skip over everything unless it's actually
It's got to be
like,
sticking out of the ground.
it's it's in a chest,
Right.
then it's got like gold leaking out of it, and
Yeah.
the overstuffed treasure chest, the one that you need to get a bigger container because I mean, like, it's always open, right?
Or take 2 trips.
Yeah, it's always like overflowing. Like,
Right.
how did you get that all in there? Because like when it opens, it's like bigger than the other part of the lid.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it
Yeah.
closed again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. So some of the things that I've been seeing on that one. So Budweiser keeps trying to, or Anheuser-Busch, let me put it that way, keeps trying to pivot back to some of its other brands now. So, I saw them do that with regular Budweiser, like during the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty feeble attempt. So, because it was like, actually, you guys probably just need to chill for about 6 months. Just don't put nothing on the TV. So, because Modelo isn't that fucking good. It's not going to stay up there.
but isn't it the Especial, not
I don't know. So they use the fucking good, bad, and good, yeah, good, bad, and the ugly song in it, and all of a sudden it blows up, and it's like, where the fuck can I get Modelo, man? I mean, is it at the bowling alley? I don't know.
No
So,
way.
yeah.
Fucking bowling alley is Miller Lite.
Miller
territory.
Lite or Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
So, and Pabst Blue Ribbon is still less popular than Bud Light. And so, because it's got a reputation for being a shit beer. So, and it kind of is. But I like it.
Now hold
So,
on. Okay.
yeah.
Now, you may. I look. I don't know how much payola went into those contests, but they did win those contests.
They have, yeah. It depends. So, like, like all the big label beers have been pushed out of most of those contests now by the insane amount of microbrews that are available.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even in this town, I think I saw an article not too long ago that we're still somewhere up around the 30 mark with how many like local microbrews we have. It's crazy, man. So, and each one has like 5 or 6 different beers. So
we're talking about just legit guys, not also basement and backyard.
no, these are guys who have a liquor license in a shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons of them. So, and so the idea that Modelo is now America's most spicy, it's just ridiculous. So
That's what you get.
I guess so, man. I mean, when you saw off if you saw down the tallest tree, old General Sherman in the forest there, and he's 200 feet higher than everybody else, then yeah, okay. I guess this guy's the next highest, but it's not that much bigger than all the others.
Still, I mean, there's no two ways around it. Bud Light was in an institutional position, right?
Oh yeah, it was.
And look,
that's done.
I can tell you, look, the way that they could have gotten all their money back, right? They floundered too long, right?
Yeah.
The way that they could have made their money back and gotten back into place is to actually do the thing that they refused to do.
Apologize.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Basically say, we messed up.
Yeah.
The people in charge of this are gone.
Yeah.
These people don't represent our values. They don't represent you, right? And, it's the same thing.
Well, the thing
yeah.
I mean, just getting into politics in general is a terrible idea if you're trying to push product on a mass audience. So, I would just apologize for that. It's like, hey, we do beer, not politics around here. So
Wouldn't work.
I don't know.
No, it wouldn't work because you have to take a turn from where you were.
Yeah.
Because you went on such a limb.
I don't think I would. Well, yeah, I guess. So, Yeah, I mean, either that or just shut it down, and that's what they'll probably wind up doing is they'll get off the marketing scene for 6 months and then do a Budweiser comeback thing when, well, actually, it won't even take that long because they'll start doing it during football season. So that's probably
Maybe.
too soon, man.
Maybe.
So yeah, it's probably too soon.
You want to fix it? Apologize.
Yeah, I don't think they're
Seriously,
going to.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only way you're gonna look. You and I have talked about this. It takes a lot for a person to change their brand. Once they change their brand, it takes a lot to get them to change back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have to really, really piss someone off to get someone off of.
Off Bud Light.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of alternatives out there that are usually right next to it. So it's
There
not like
are.
I have to go trade in my Tesla now and go get a fucking, Ford electric vehicle. It's not, there's not really that much of a cost associated with me switching products.
I
So,
understand,
yeah.
but let me put this to you. All right. When you buy bread, what do you get?
Usually Wonder Bread.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, personally, I don't buy bread. I buy hot dog buns, but they're always fluffy, and I fucking love the taste of Nathan's Famous and Wonder Bread. So
Okay.
There
Well,
you go.
so that's the thing here is it would take you a lot to kick you off of Wonder Bread to go with a different brand.
yeah,
I mean, it's not something that you think about. It's just this is what I've been doing. This is what I've always been doing, right?
yeah, but that depends on the product. Beer would be up there though. So if I was always that Miller Lite guy, and then my bar stopped serving Miller Lite, I'd probably go find a new bar. So
Well, that's kind of what I'm driving at here. Is yeah,
I got you.
if you're not going to change your bread, right? Because it's just look. I'm guessing you probably had Wonder Bread as a kid, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
I mean,
did.
it's something that sticks with you, right?
And it's still cheap. So
And it's still
like
cheap.
you got the Sara Lee stuff. I did switch to the Sara Lee stuff for a while. It's just it got to the point in time it goes bad just as fast, and it costs like $2 more. So,
Where are you getting your bread?
well, I mean the hot dog buns. I don't know.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that I can't speak to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
They are split top though, which is nice.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that
You get
is
the
nice.
special
Yeah,
kind, right.
that is nice.
Oh, and so yeah, if you eventually make that choice to say like, all right, I'm done with this beer, right? What's it gonna take you to go back?
I don't think you're gonna go back. Yeah, so they have to just scale down their expectations. I mean, it's not like Budweiser's gonna lose money. So
Well, they are losing money.
Well, they're not gonna make as much money, which is different than losing money.
Well, they're losing
So-
money because they had product.
Yeah. So, but I mean, just adjust your sales and your manufacturing down, and realize that you're gonna be the number 5 beer for 5 years or whatever. So, lay a whole bunch of fucking people off, starting with your marketing department.
But I'm telling you, like, you could have fixed that right away.
They could have, but they didn't want to do it. There'll be an interesting Harvard business case study on that someday.
Not from Harvard.
Oh, well, so the Harvard Business School is a little bit different than the rest of the school. So, it's distinctly its kind of own thing.
Fuck that shit. I do not want to read the Harvard case about how white nationalists derailed Bud Light.
Harvard Business Review would not write the case that way. So, they will talk about how somebody in marketing, maybe who was an activist and should have been screened more thoroughly coming into the company, decided to hijack the brand and placed a bet on a well-known YouTube grifter.
Well, listen, they hired that one. I mean, that's the thing is they
Yeah.
they had the choice. This was par for the attitude in marketing, that kind of thing, where you're finding people to basically push certain things.
Yeah.
Because it all starts there. You're like, well, I want you to take us in a new direction. It's like one that's contra to all of our existing product, base. It's like, yes, absolutely, because this is the thing where you say it's the Star Wars thing all over again. This is not a Star Wars talk. This is marketing talk, right? Where basically you jump in there and say, this is the brand. We have all of the boys, right? But we have to get the girls off the sidelines.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, what actual demographics were changing for Bud Light that would prompt them to actually go in that direction. You know, was it just old guys were drinking their beer and not the young crowd? So they decide, hey, we want to get the young crowd.
A good point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or just like, is it an overly male crowd? How do we,
Maybe, but you know, like they have so many like wine cooler products and shit like that now too. So they
Yeah.
got that.
Right.
So you know, my guess is that yeah, there's probably there was something flashing on the dashboard that they didn't like, and then they completely misread that.
Totally botched.
Yeah, totally botched it. And then, oh, well, we're Anheuser-Busch. We don't fucking make mistakes. And so, you know, it'll be okay. America loves us. And they're like, well, actually, they really like Coors and Miller now. And apparently Modelo. So,
I don't even think they like those. I think they just hate you.
I think it's turned to that one. We just hate you. So there's like so many years for people that would not shop at Walmart because they just hated it. It shut down my little 5 and dime, blah blah blah. And they just waited and waited and waited, and eventually those people died out. And then it was okay to go to Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember years and years and years of Walmart being just seen as this. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like it was live. It was if it was
It was the blob.
Yeah, some kind of entity that was like
Right.
actively seeking out healthy communities, right? And then getting in their groundwater.
Right, and providing them with a wide variety of very cheap products.
Right. Because, once they saw a healthy community, it allowed them to grow spores.
Right.
And once the spores budded,
Right.
then a store would pop into place and destroy the local economy. Now, in hindsight, I don't know.
It's fine in hindsight. In fact, it's the only thing that's a lifeline for so many rural communities out there. So it's hilarious, man. So
Look, when I was in those no phone carrier has a signal tower for miles
right.
communities that I was in, and you would get to a Walmart, right? The fact that you could actually go to this place where, number one, it was open,
Yeah.
right? It didn't have small town hours,
Nope.
right? If you needed a printer for work, you bought it. If you needed cartridges, if you needed anything,
If you needed
cables,
beer.
any of that stuff. I'm just talking about like we're talking about like some people are saying, oh, well, what are you gonna have to do? Drive the fucking Minot? That's like 4
right,
hours. It's like, no, there's a Walmart,
yeah.
20 miles or 20 minutes that way. It's like, really? And they'll
Yeah.
have everything? It's like, and they have everything.
Yeah, I need a new laptop. Okay. You don't have to drive to Minot to
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. But I mean, so I remember reading cases on Walmart too, and they knew, like even the Waltons knew that. They're like, well, you know, Papa Walton grew this business from like nothing in, you know, Arkansas, and every community he went to, he faced the same thing. And so all you got to do is wait. So because they can't compete with you. Okay, so, you know, you're going to put them out of business, or they're going to learn to adapt and live in a part of the market that we can't do. Both of those are wins for the community. So, and he says you're going to have people bitch about it, but eventually those people are going to move or die. And the kids are going to be like, I can get my printer cartridges right here. Yeah.
And, I mean, that's the thing, is ultimately it comes down to the city, too. The city still has the choice to say, like, nope,
Yeah, they do.
we're not going to have you here.
Yeah.
Right? That's why there are Targets in New York and no Walmarts.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, but I mean, you can see, like, you go up to mountain towns up here, you know, or even some of those, like, little towns in, I remember all over western Nebraska. Yeah, I mean, you could tell a Walmart town from a non-Walmart town in
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, I'm not stopping here. Okay, so because I'm not going to be able to find the thing that I'm looking for, you know. But then you go to Walmart town, and oh, there's a Napa Auto Parts here too, so fucking sweet. You know, it was like, and I mean, just how well the towns were maintained made a difference too. So you go through some, it's a Walmart town, it has streetlights at work. You go through a non-Walmart town, it has a streetlight. that kind of works. You know?
I look, I get it,
Yeah.
and that does not prevent. So the one stipulation that I would have with Walmart is that I do believe that Walmart should have some capability, some kind of what's a nice way to say it? Some kind of like extra legal security laws.
Like what?
Like, I understand that when you go to some of these places, right, and you're attracting the crowds that you do, which should range from here to here, it's a big gamut, but you're also going to attract ghetto elements. And within there, I'm okay if Walmart has some kind of like extra
A
security.
police force?
Right, something, some kind of authority.
They have their own Pinkertons?
Yes, that gives them the ability
To beat the shit out of people?
to camp out the ghetto, right?
Yeah.
When that comes, right?
I don't think the ghetto follows the Walmart. So
No, but
it's the opposite.
it doesn't
actually.
follow it, but it appears there.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of, but
You don't see
you
those
see a
same-
lot more of the ghetto in non-Walmart places than you do in Walmart places.
I get it, but
Yeah.
you do not see those kind of fights happening at Ace Hardware. You just don't. You don't see them happening at Lowe's. You don't, right?
Yeah.
But you do see them at Walmart. And
You
if
do-
they
you
had
see a little bit
some
of-
sort of, just
This is one thing. So I can't remember where it was, but I saw this on a video. And then I saw it in real life. So it was we were down, I think it was down in Arizona. We went to Walmart. Yeah, that's right, because I blew up my wife's laptop.
oh yeah,
And we're gonna go to Walmart and just pick her up a little notebook or something like that. She had work to do. And go to Walmart, all right. And I mean, this is Phoenix. Phoenix is a humongous town. So
Right.
I mean, and so you get a little bit of everything everywhere, you know. And I remember we pulled up next to one of the cart racks, and it was these guys were over there trying to load this giant screen TV into the back of their fucking
okay, yeah.
but they're taking it out of the box first, and they just throw the box in the cart rack, okay, and then put the TV in the car and jet. And I was like, oh, I just saw that on YouTube. That means those people don't live somewhere very nice, and so they don't want the fucking box out front of their house when it's trash day. So
Really?
yeah, because they
Oh.
know you know, this guy down here got a brand new TV. He goes to work at 5:30 at night. All right, see you at 6.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you got robbed.
I heard
Yeah.
you got robbed.
Yeah.
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 Gotcha. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like, yeah, the little towns that I lived in up there, I mean, they were not
Good. Just
they weren't good, but they weren't violent. But it was definitely depressing. So yeah, it was definitely depressing. You know. I mean, there's some good people there. There's some terrible people there too.
Of course.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But at least in the Walmart town up there, it was like, oh, they've got cops here. Cool. You know.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I want them to have their own security force with a little bit more authority than the average
I'll rent a cop.
store.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just like I can walk out and take a picture of you getting in your car with my.
Right. So
Yeah.
much like the the
Why don't those guys actually have the ability to hit you?
Pat, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Pat, I don't know.
I know they would used to.
Every
They used to detain you when we were younger.
I'm
So,
telling you,
yeah.
every time that, I think part of it too. I think a lot of that is actually company edict, is where they say do
It's
not
probably just
detain these
yeah.
people.
It's
They're
probably
like-
not worth the liability.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of it. But I would, because as far as I know, I believe regular citizens have the right to intervene if they're seeing a
I
criminal act.
I'm not gonna go into that one, man. So I don't even know. I mean, like even now in the state of Colorado, like some of the what is it, qualified immunity that cops have. they don't have it as much as they used to. So I have no idea where your rights begin and end as a citizen.
It's tough.
I know you're not allowed to shoot anybody unless they're coming at you and they're in your house. They can be breaking into your car in your driveway and you can't shoot them. So, they have to be coming into your house.
Or toward you, right?
Or towards you. So you can have stand your ground, although Colorado doesn't have that firm of a stand your ground law like Florida. So, yeah. But if they come in your house, you're not allowed to ambush. You're not allowed to put out like fucking landmines and shit. So
no.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to like leave a window open on purpose.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't think I'd have to say this, but that happened.
That happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to dig a fucking spike trap underneath your entryway. That happened here. So.
No shit. I thought that was just well known.
No,
like...
that fucking happened here. So, yeah.
Again, I thought that was just like common sense. Like, well, don't you feel like there's a possibility that the UPS guy might actually step on that, or
this guy put it inside his threshold of his house.
Same thing.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, come on in, man. Yeah, just drop that off right here. It's totally okay. Yeah. I wouldn't think you'd have to specify that because of the danger. That would be, whatever. But, yeah, I think, because, I mean, like, if you see a woman and she's getting, like, beaten up, I know you can intervene.
Yeah.
I don't think...
I don't know how much liability you're... So if some guy's beating up a woman and you intervene and you push him down and he cracks his head and dies on the concrete, I don't know how much liability you're off the hook of at that point in time. I don't know.
I think you're fine.
No, I'm not going to use "I think" because that's really dangerous right here.
You're taking legal advice from us? What are you nuts?
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Because my understanding on that, the way it was explained to me is, all right, so let's say, for example, that there's a woman and she's getting beaten up by a boyfriend, right? You can get in there and you can break it up and you can intervene.
Yeah.
What you cannot do is basically get upset and start throttling the boyfriend. Right.
Okay.
You can break up the fight, but if you then turn around, because this was the whole, this came into our research again. That fucking, we went rounds on the glitter bomber, the Amazon glitter bomber.
Oh,
at work.
Mark Roper. Yeah.
Rounds and rounds on this.
Yeah.
Where because it came down to, it said like, all right, so let's say for example that you caught somebody stealing off your Porsche. It's like, yeah, it's like you chase them down. Right? There's a lot of guys who are like, I could chase him. It's like, okay, problem is, what would you do when you caught him?
Yeah.
It's like, would you take your box, right, and then call the police? It's like, no, I'd fucking hit the guy. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was clear. It's like, I'd kick the shit out of him. I'm like, there's the problem.
There's your problem. You can't do that.
It's like, you got your box back.
Yeah.
Right? So, in theory, you've been made whole, because there's like, what else am I supposed to do? I'm like, call Amazon. It's like,
right. Yeah.
It's like, or call the police. Right? And Amazon, you call them, you say like, hey, I actually caught the dude that was stealing. Like, if they want to launch an investigation, let them, right?
Sure. Well, you'd still go to the cops. So,
right?
You'd still go to the cops.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's that turnaround. It's like, yeah, you can split up this guy that's beating up on his girlfriend. If you then start punching the guy,
that's bad. Right?
And that's the same thing. If you intervene and he falls over, hits his head and dies, it happens.
I just.
But if you did it in a vengeful, if it's like clearly like, yo man, what do you look at you swinging here?
Yeah.
Look at.
I doubt that you'd be shielded from liability in that case. You might be shielded from like prosecution.
You might catch like,
but if they turn around, if that guy who was doing that had like, I don't know, kids and an ex-wife or something or whatever, that decided to go after you for wrongful death. I don't know if you could get out. I don't know, man. That's way too complicated. So.
I don't know, man. If you're preventing a woman from getting the crap kicked out of her, again, we know lawyers.
No, we know lawyers, and I understand that there's a right thing to do in that situation. I just don't think the right thing is necessarily free of consequence. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's why they have so many different delineations of of where they could say like, all right, well this would be involuntary manslaughter or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I just don't know.
I mean, here's the question: would you do something?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it doesn't.
Like I said, I wouldn't do something, expecting that, there would be no consequence to my actions. So I'd be like, I'd weigh those two things. And okay, the chance that I could get sued is definitely worth the idea that I got to break this up. So
Because here's the question: is let's say, I mean, how would you explain that to your kid? How would you explain what the right thing is to do to your kid?
oh, you got to protect the innocent. That's easy. So
Just damn the consequences.
yeah, fuck yeah, yeah. No, that's easy. So I mean, but like understand that consequences are there for multiple reasons, and just because you did the right thing doesn't free you from consequences. So I mean, that's actually what makes it a moral choice, is that you do something regardless of the potential consequence.
So it's a rough one.
I know
This
it
is
sucks,
a
man.
rough one.
This is the world.
No, you're absolutely right, because then the second piece of this here is like, yeah, if I if I caught you ripping off a Walmart,
Yeah.
right? The gut says, well, he's smaller than me. I'm gonna stop him.
Right? Yeah. I don't know, man.
If he's bigger than me, I'll hold the door. Right?
So
It's-
there's like a proximity principle going on there too. So like if someone's ripping your Walmart off,
yes.
that's different
Yes.
than it's like ripping off the Walmart. That's just as well. It's the whole classic thing about stealing cable. Would you steal, would you take your neighbor's cable, unplug it from their house, and plug it into yours? So
Just take theirs.
yes.
And at the expense of theirs.
Well, of course not, because that guy's gonna be like, "What the fuck, man? That guy lives next door to you." All right, but as opposed to where it's like, your neighbor's saying, "Hey, you can split my cable," and you're still stealing cable. All right.
Right.
So, but you're stealing it from Comcast now, and fuck those guys, right? And so that's the proximity principle. You don't care about them because they don't live right next door to you. You don't have to interface with them every day. So,
No, Patrick.
yeah.
The bottom line is we all know Here's the problem, Patrick.
I've never put that one that way. Would you literally take somebody else's cable?
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, you mean unplug theirs and then just put it into your house? Like, yeah, that's a problem.
That would be so funny, man.
Well, because they walk and it's like
What the fuck?
they're just following the line.
Yeah, it's like Jeffrey.
You just come up and knock on the door and they ask. It's like,
Yeah, you want to step outside here for a second? I gotta show you something, man.
and then you have to be the one that says, I don't know how that happened, man. It was
Yeah.
like that when I got here. Yeah. No, the problem with that one is there's no justification based on how much you hate the provider.
Right? Yeah.
It's still their product, and whether or not you want to pay for it is really up for debate.
Right. Well, and you take a look at, there's not that much consequence to it either. So, because you stealing your neighbor's cable means that he has no cable. And if you do that during the football game, that's an immediate consequence. That
We can't use that.
I get it. But if you steal from Comcast, there's a really large chance that you never get caught. And then if you do get caught, all they do is tell you to stop. Okay, so or else
I think they can fine you.
then
But
maybe we'll
but
send
I
you
don't
a
know.
fine,
But
or something.
what
But
obligation? I think they can cut you off. They can put you on their banned list or
yeah, but there's not
something.
really a victim there, unlike your neighbor. So,
Right.
Yeah. So
That's what I can't fathom. It's just like you just like do this with any other utility. Like a guy looks at his faucet and like, okay, there's a hose going out the window.
right.
and,
Yeah.
and just
Exactly.
like, are you stealing my water? It's like, nah.
Nah.
Or like, what the fuck would you do if like you? I know I have outlets outside,
Yeah.
right on the back, porch, right?
Yeah.
If there was an extension cord coming over the fence into my outlet, right? What the fuck would you do? Like, there's.
I'd go politely knock on their door and say, like, "Are you guys okay? Did they cut you off? Do you need to keep your fridge running or something? Because I understand, all right, and I got you covered for a day or two. That's fine, all right. But what is this? What is this? What's going on here? So
But that's not stealing from the power company.
no, it's
Right.
stealing from me.
Which is essentially what you're doing with cable. You're not
No, I
stealing it
get
from
it.
Comcast.
Yeah.
You're stealing it from your neighbor.
Yeah.
If you just unplug it and put it in your own
Right.
house.
But see, I think that makes the moral issues clearer in a situation like that, because the
100%.
consequence is immediate. But you're dealing with a national conglomerate that is known for evil shenanigans across the face of the planet. You kind of feel like Robin Hood, like you're getting away with something, but it's still the same moral act. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Patrick, the as a reformed, okay, as a reformed pirate, okay. Now I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm not going to sit before you and say like, at a time my face wasn't on the fucking poster at the post office.
Right.
For piracy,
Right.
because I would take anything,
Right.
and I would find a million justifications of this, right?
Sure.
At the same time, but as a reformed pirate, okay, you're right. That same, regardless of how deplorable I found the company that produced it, the prices that they charged, the justifications of, well, music artists really make all their money off of touring industry. I'm taking it from the industry, not from the artist.
Right, yeah, we're spinning
Right.
a yarn here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever web of bullshit I was spinning, yes, it all came down to the same fact. No matter what, it was still their product, and I was still taking it without paying.
Right, yeah.
Right. So eventually, I had to turn tail on it and say, like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it was also one of those things where, even if you had faced a consequence in that case, I mean, it wasn't commensurate with the crime in a lot of respects. So, see, and that's the thing that makes morals hard. So you take your Walmart example. So you see a skinny little 90-pound dude, lifting something out of Walmart. Yeah, all right, you might want to stop it. Okay, you see 5 humongous guys who look like they just got out of the gym. So are fully warmed up and then formed a little posse around the one guy who does it. Morally, you're still obliged to do the same thing. So, but it adds the weight of the consequence actually changes that formula for you. So,
well, okay. Now the thing is, what I'm supposed to do in both circumstances is the same.
You're supposed to alert the authorities. Yeah.
I'm supposed to alert the authorities, and if I'm going to do anything, right, whether it's the 90-pound guy or the dude that's benching 3.5 plates, right? I'm supposed to say, sir, as a concerned citizen, I must ask that you take that bag of Doritos and return it to the rack.
Once you found it,
that's my moral
will
obligation.
you comply?
I'm supposed to identify myself as not an officer of the law, right? I'm supposed to say that I've seen something, right? And I'm pointing out the moral or the correct alternative, right? Because then at that point, or I will be forced to alert authorities,
Right.
Or management or whatever that case may
This
be.
guy still might pound your ass, man.
Well, that's the
that's
the thing is, if it's a little 90-pound guy, then I might just like come over there and like we talk about, just like shit happens, like give him a little shove. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah.
You think I like having to pay extra because you're walking out here with free shit? And then he says, what? And then you shove him a little bit.
Right. And see, this is why, like, I forgive people a lot of their inconsistencies in terms of application of their principles.
The rule of big.
The rule of big is a rule, man. But if you're gonna, if you're gonna openly do that and say, well, if I can't beat you up, then it must be okay. So, then that's fine. You just need to be consistent on that one as well. So, but
Well, because you have a built-in excuse because they're like, well, why didn't you? It's like, yeah, you think
it's
I'm
still
gonna stop him?
hypocrisy, man.
Yeah.
So it's still hypocrisy. So
Sorry, what do you expect me to do?
right, yeah, exactly.
Which is why the Walmart security detail, or I don't know what paramilitary organization you want to give them, right? It's fine.
Well, the railroad they have their own police. So,
Okay, yeah.
there you
So
go.
whatever branch militia that Walmart has, right? Yeah. The way to equalize that is you give them firearms.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you could indemnify them against any kind of harm. I mean, so guy's gonna try and take something, and I mean, this is just the little bit of lawyer brain that I have. So, dude's trying to jack a TV, okay, and
Yeah.
he's carrying it and he's running. all right, stop or I'll shoot. Stop, stop, stop. You give him 3, and you pop him. And he jukes at the last minute. You hit a little 6-year-old girl. So
Right.
yeah, this is a problem. And so I think it's better just to let the TV fucking go. So I mean, I'm looking at this from business size now, and if I'm Walmart, which is the largest corporation on the face of the fucking planet, which means that it is the greatest target for lawsuits.
Sure.
So yeah, it's like it's a TV. All right. So my principle is to make money. So
And I know what Walmart paid for it. So
right, yeah.
I understand, because now, to me, again, because I am such a small fry in this regard,
Right.
And I'm seeing the cost of one television walking away, and the moral outrage that comes with it. There's part of me
Right.
that says, yes, gun him down. Right? It does not belong to him. You
Right.
warned him 3 times,
Right.
and he did not raise both hands and set
Yeah.
down the television gently so that you can resell it, right? Because if he throws it down, you shoot him anyway.
You should have anyway.
Like, fuck you, you're trashing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you trying to ditch this over the fence? What the fuck's wrong with you? No. Right? They open fire on you. Right? And, like, when your parents come to your funeral, right? There's shame. There's not, like, they don't come to the funeral and they don't talk about, like, my son was an aspiring rapper. They don't talk about, like, fucking all this other bullshit about, like, he was going to be the first kid on the moon in 50 years. No, you come out there and say, my son is in the ground because he stole.
He was an animal. And they put him down like the dog he is. And I couldn't be prouder of my.
I don't want to see any bitches fucking, like, throwing themselves on the coffin or any other shit, like, crying up a storm. Your son stole.
You're like, design society is just horrifying sometimes, man.
Look, I understand that there are certain, like, Singaporean...
Very Singaporean, It's like, wait a minute, there's not enough black people in this building, so you gotta fill up that apartment with another black person before you get another Indian in here. So, or, yeah, litter is, I don't know, treated by torture? If I'm not mistaken, something like that.
I believe it's littering is $1,000 fine,
Jesus.
and I believe you can get fucking whooped for it. I've got a
Don't
shot
they cane
glass.
people?
Yeah, I've got a shot glass of various consequences that happened in Singapore.
Yeah, because they'll cane you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that was a big deal.
Yeah.
No, obviously, okay, so obviously this is a little bit hyperbolic, and I don't want
Right,
people
yeah.
but I also wouldn't mind if there was a little bit more latitude instead of, like, necessarily, like, AR-15ing a dude, with a television, or God help you, like a printer, or, like, ink cartridges, or...
Yeah, shoot him for the cartridges first.
You
You can keep the printer, man.
That's how they get you. Yeah,
That's how they get you,
That's how
yeah.
they get you. We've spoken to that theory before, but
Yeah.
but it's
Who's robbing who, sir?
that's very Socratic, yeah. But I certainly wouldn't mind if security caught up with you and had a stick, or
Yeah.
what do they call it? What are those little a blackjack? Yes.
Crunch it. Yeah.
Well, no. No, I'm just saying, like, those little, like, the small things, the small clubs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, a little blackjack is what they're called, and they
And they just whack you.
and, like, the whole thing is you're supposed to surgically get them, like, once behind the ear, and they go down like a lamp. They wake up in like 5 minutes. They're fine. They're just like, did I win? Right? But you give them
Maybe.
like a couple of, like, clubbings, and then
What's this thing with violence? Why does it have to be violent? Why don't they just detain you for 3 days and put you on bread and water?
well, because you'd have to catch. If you detain them, then, like,
Yeah.
then what are you talking about?
Why does it have to be a violent punishment?
Well, it's not necessarily a violent punishment. It's just to reclaim your shit. So if somebody's not giving it up voluntarily, right, and you got your hand, they're still running away.
Just tase
You just did.
Why do you have to hit them?
to get your stuff back.
Right. Why don't you just tase him? He'll give it back.
Tasing is fine too.
Okay.
Yeah, tasing is
Yeah.
fine too.
I don't think you should hit people. So.
Or like again, if you have one of those big cans of like bear mace and like if they're not returning the TV, you just grab them by like the hoodie.
Bear mace is kind of a weapon of mass destruction. You never know who you're going to get.
That's
with
sort
it.
of the problem. But I mean, so
Yeah.
that's the thing. You have to use it very localized. So you like, get them over the shoulder, and then
right in the mouth. Yeah.
um, mace the shit out of them, and then that's fine too, right? Especially in the parking lot.
Right.
Or if you want to, like,
Yeah, see, I don't know what happened to it, man. So, because they used to do shit like that. So, they would chase you.
yeah, they would.
Yeah. Best Buy guys would chase you. So, I don't know.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that a lot of that just has to do with corporate stuff. So like they've been, busted. They've lost lawsuits.
Probably, yeah.
So like, here's our here's our intersection where if we don't show a security force, we lose more. We're always going to lose some, but by having a show,
Yeah,
of people,
having these two guys there, it goes down by 8% or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
they
worth
probably
the
have
higher
more
is.
than enough data
They
points.
have
to
a
actually
they have a
do
matrix
that.
that says do this.
Well, that's why they close stores. So, you
Yeah.
know, I mean.
As much as they want to pretend that that's not the reason, that is the reason.
So there's multiple reasons, but that's definitely a driver behind it. So one of the other reasons is like, they can't put a lot of high dollar ticket items in those because they won't sell. So,
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you don't have the kind of like stuff in there. You don't have the clientele nearby that's actually going to be turning over fucking printer cartridges every week, kind of thing. So your high margin items just don't move.
I mean, you and I have seen them all come and go, man. It's like,
Oh yeah.
and it's not just big stores. It's like, you go down to like 8th Street and you're like, well, I finally, I finally found a place with good rent. It's like, yeah, it's like, well, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna sell exotic parrots here, like
Right.
here.
Here? Yeah. Yeah.
How much is your cheapest parrot?
Oh,
well,
wrong
I
neighborhood,
mean,
buddy.
in installments or all at once?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know, retail is just so different than it used to be anyway, man. I mean, Amazon is fantastic. So,
I don't want them to deliver my designer parrot.
I don't want them to deliver my designer parrot either. So, I think that would be something where I would be willing to go
I'll go to
wherever
the
they
store.
were. Yeah. Yeah, kind of thing.
Or try to catch my own.
You can get the net on Amazon. Yeah. Catch my own.
Is that a Pueblo thing? Where do you have to go to catch an exotic
That's
parrot?
got to be a Boulder thing. Man. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's got to be a Boulder thing. Mm.
Yeah, because that's a tough thing. That goes in line with your with your brother's $17 for a Bud Light bar, just to recoup the initial investment of like $950,000.
Oh, it was gonna be more than that. So yeah, but yeah, that was I mean, I see students do that all the time though, man, with their business plans. So it's just like, how much is that gonna cost? Oh, I think it only costs this much. It's like, you need to go do some more math.
You think or
Yeah.
you know?
Right. That's I don't like that word. That phrase. I think it's like go find someone who else has done it and ask them. So
Now, if they came to you with this plan and you say like, what you're saying sounds expensive, they say like, don't worry about it. And he's like, what do you mean don't worry about it? It's like, all right, so I can't go into further details, but I know a guy.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what do you mean you know a guy? Or like, are you saying that tile's only going to be $500 because it's going to fall off a truck? Like,
I've never gotten that. I have had students who I do suss them out on that one where they say, oh, well, the cost isn't an issue and stuff like that. And, it's like, oh, you got investors? And they're like, yeah, I got investors and stuff like that. It's like, is it family money? Yeah. It's like, well, if your family's rich, why the fuck are you doing this? So,
Great question.
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
really want to do
yeah,
this?
it's like I don't
Question,
think you're all in on this thing. You just want to hang out with a whole bunch of girls. So
Just say that.
you're gonna hire them and say,
Yeah.
yeah, just say that, instead. So because I've shot down so many ideas for bars / nightclubs / disco restaurant combination, fucking barbecue, movie theater / rollerblading / disc golf, whatever. And it's like you just want to be a guy who hangs around other people who have fun. It's like you don't need to spend $1 million on a place in order to be able to do that. You can just patronize other ones that too.
Right. Make a reservation.
Right,
and,
make a
and
reservation.
go.
Yeah, go. So, it's all that idea. It's like, I want to be the boss. So it's like, that is way harder work than you fucking think it is. All right?
Well, the other thing is, like, if you want to be the boss, go to that one and put in an application
Yeah.
and start working.
Yeah, go try it out for a little while. I told the guy that last fall, he got pissed at me. So he wanted to start a restaurant. I was like, have you worked in a restaurant? He's like, no, but I got great recipes. And I was like, okay, so, but you don't know anything about how to build a menu or what to charge people or how to set up your suppliers or deal with the health department. He's like, no, but I'll figure all that stuff out. I was like, yeah, you should, and you should go do that by working in a restaurant for 6 months. So he's like, I don't want to work for other people. I was like, what the fuck do you think you're going to be doing if you're cooking them food? So so it's just like it's this, I don't want to work, so I want to do way more work.
Patrick, like if you want to talk about what makes people actually have like suicidal thoughts, it's actually that where
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
entrepreneurialism.
well, when you're like, well, yeah, I didn't want to work, so I started this business. Now it turns out I'm doing way more work, and I'm sadder than I was before I actually accomplished my dream.
There's a guy that he's from my graduate program, and I get together with him every few months. We go have coffee or lunch or something. He does. I was telling him about you a while ago. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, how you got really successful with the tutoring and stuff, and then when you started upping your prices, they weren't going away. So, kind of thing. He's like, well, I think if I just raise my prices, and he does something completely different. But he's like, a bunch of them will go away. And it's like, well, I got these few that have been with me since the beginning, so I'll keep the prices low for them and stuff. Yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, we're going to have this conversation in about 6 months, and you're going to be miserable. And sure as shit, it comes back, and he's like, I'm so busy. He's like, finishing my PhD did nothing. So it just made me busier. And it wasn't supposed to do that. And I was like, yeah. It's like, you need to start saying no to people, dude. So, it's just making yourself miserable, brother.
You know what's funny too is in hindsight, I probably, given the way that quite a few of them reacted, right? I probably could have raised the prices on them a long time ago.
Yeah, you
and just said
probably
like, I don't even need to be nice about it. Just be direct. I'm like, hey,
Yeah, it's a business. So
I'm having less time, ergo, I need to charge more for it.
this makes perfect sense. The people who bitch about that are not the people that you want as clients. So yeah.
Now, that being said, I'd probably, follow it with some other kind of guarantee. It's like, hey, I'm not going to be doing this on a regular basis. I'm going to hit you this time. We'll reevaluate in a year or something like that.
Right.
But I'm not going to be coming to you next week and saying like, hey, gotta say it just wasn't cutting it here. So if you want to stick around, right? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Look, it's not that, especially when it comes to people that like, it's that same concept, that concept of like, be good to your regulars, right? But
Only if they're good to you.
what does
man.
that? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
of course they're good to you. They've stuck around. They're like thrilled with that. But if they're just like, if they really don't like you, they don't think that you're like, are you going there just because the hot dogs are cheap, or do you actually like them?
Yeah. That does become hard to tell after a while.
You know?
So yeah, it really does.
I mean, yeah, it was heartbreaking that I had a bunch of people that read my message and wanted to interpret it a different way, because the message did not click with what they want. They're like, well, so you're gonna be back after the summer, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh, when you left. Yeah, yeah.
he's like, no, sir,
No.
I'm not participating in like a dig in Cairo, and coming home.
I'm going on holiday. You know, safari. You know.
No, I'm not going on my elusive like parrot hunt, and then
Gotcha.
and then coming back. No, it's like, I'm sorry, and I'm actually, moving on. I'm like, look, if things change someday, I'll tell you. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like, no, when I said I'm leaving, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And that's where, yeah, there was a lot of like, there was tough feelings, but there was also like a lot of good feelings with that too. It was like,
Sure.
yeah, okay, actually, you guys.
Yeah. No, I've had similar reactions. So in some cases where it's like, are you gonna teach the next class? No, it's not mine. So you need to go learn from that guy now. So he's better at this part than I am. So
Significantly.
significantly, it's good for you. So, does he teach the class the same way you do? No. Nope. You're gonna have to learn a whole new system. Yep. Sorry. No. Yeah. No. It's. But I do get quite a few students get hung up on that. I mean, that's part of being in a business school. It's like you do get those people who are like just ridiculously ambitious. That um and the whole thing that we were talking with Will about the other day with Fight Club, I am convinced that movie ruined a generation. So
Explain.
so it's like you and I saw that movie when it came out. So and then I went on, to not have kids for like 15 more years, 20 more years.
Okay.
Okay, but a lot of people that I know did. And, then they started realizing it's like, oh, wait, I do actually punch in 40 hours a week at a job that I hate. This isn't the Matrix. I also blame this on the Matrix, too. So, but that movie's fun, at least.
Well, what you're doing is you're pointing to a specific period of entertainment time that
Yes.
had very similar themes and very similar ideas.
Yes, and it started with Office Space, which was funny. So,
I disagree.
what? Oh, you didn't think that movie was funny?
No, I think that movie's funny.
Oh,
Yeah, again, like, mine starts earlier with Point Break.
Well, okay, Point Break's fine. Yeah. So,
But that's not to say that it began there. But that's the.
No.
There's a very similar theme going through.
Yeah, but I don't think it got like super serious until like
Joe versus the volcano and shit, man. It's
I
like,
get it,
yeah.
Joe versus Volcano, but I mean, it didn't advocate terrorism.
No.
So, and then the Matrix, took it into a different level. It was like, well, if you keep doing this and don't do that, you're stupid.
Well,
So
actually,
you're a battery. You're sheep.
No. Go further, Patrick. Remember, all those people that are still plugged in are the enemy.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're
They are all potentially the enemy.
They're all They could all turn into Agent Smith at any time. Agent Smith.
I was gonna say, take it a step further. They are labeled as terrorists in the movie.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, and then so like some people who saw that got locked into jobs, and then they had kids, and then they taught their kids, it's like whatever you do, make sure that you do something you love, man, and don't
Make it count.
make it count, and don't bow down to the man, no matter what, kind of thing. And then I get them in college.
Oh yeah.
So and I'm like, no, you need a job. So job's a good thing. So I know your daddy told you that he hated his job. It was the best thing he ever did for you, and blah, blah, blah. You should pursue your dreams, but your dreams are stupid. So, your idea of a combination / Scotch bar / fucking disc golf / barbecue joints / disco nightclub is really bad idea. So, and nobody's ever told you that. So you can pick any one of those things and do it really well. So, but trying to do all of them, if that's your dream, man, I think you should go get a job for a little bit first. You'll be all right.
Well, again, this is where the message gets screwed up.
Yeah.
Right. And this is it's not as though the nature of what you're talking about has completely changed. It's evolved, right?
Sure.
But it has still been there, right? What they don't say, okay, and this is where again, where and Pat, I've had to do this with people who have like escaped to this country, right? on the premise of this kind of thing here, and like the correction would be like, look, the dream is accomplishing the dream. Okay, is that what matters to you, or pursuing the dream?
Is it the journey or the destination?
And this is the thing, because then when it comes down to say, like, all right, so if you're saying that you wouldn't be happy unless you accomplish the dream, the second part of that question is, all right, so what is it that you want from that? What is it that you're hoping to get from that? Is it money? Is it recognition or whatever? It's
most people do not know.
Well, and that's the thing. And if they can identify it, they say, like, all right, well, then that's what you want. What you're saying is a very infeasible way to get there.
Yeah, there's much easier ways to do that, man. So
if that's what you want, let's talk about that. Because if you do this for 20 years, you're going to be like I was, fucking like saying, like, I could just drive into traffic.
Yeah.
Like, remember,
you know what'd be really cool is if I came into work today and the whole thing was on fire. That'd be great. You know?
Well, I didn't want to destroy the building. It's like, but I was like, well, I'm near Dump Hill. This is all garbage cans. I'm not going to derail the trash can, right? Same way people feel about trains, right? But I was like, okay, well, so what do you really want out of this? And if that's the thing, if being this, if the pursuit of this, and you do that all your life and you never get there, you can still die satisfied. Oh yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Totally cool, right? But if you're saying like, well, I want this, I'm like, okay, well then, I'm not an expert in this, but what you want to start doing is talking to people that are.
Yep.
Right? And that's fine. And just that's cool. That's the whole trick of it. The part that gets me, this is where the evolution of it is stupid. Okay? Because you talk about that evolution from that mid to late 90s bullshit of find the thing that you want to do because it matters, right? Because you know, and you'll never work a day in your life bullshit, right? The way that has also evolved, and this is the part that gets me, this is the part that is just fucking dumb, is the way that message has evolved now is you were the only thing holding yourself back. The answer was within you all the time, right? The world should change. You were right.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's
that's just got no legs on it, man. So
that's the dumb part.
Yeah, no, I've seen hints of that in the past. It was like, well, we just need to do it this way. It's like, well, no, because we were all here first, and so we decided how this was going to be done. You need to make the case for why you should do it your way, not just automatically think that, okay, you've got it all figured out right now.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. The whole thing, the war against like old white people is like, well, it's failing because you've been doing this the same way the whole time.
Yeah,
it's like,
no, that's ridiculous.
Well, they run the country with them. It's like, I'm sorry, it's like they've been successful with this for 100 years.
Yeah. So
as a matter of fact, as soon as they brought in your dumbass, people started boycotting the brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so there is a lot of that, you know, there's that kind of like Wolf of Wall Street kind of culture out there. That's kind of the same. They're kind of the same thing. So
yeah, that's the next step off.
There's an easy way to actually fucking get around actually doing the work. So, and it's either by, you know, busking the system somehow. So complaining loudly that it's not right and finding some other bullshit way to actually flip things over. So, you know, or it's just, I don't know.
Oh, it's just different. This is
exactly.
This is where like stop trying to sell autism as a fucking superpower. It's not.
It's not. Yeah, no.
It's like, well, I just see things in a different way.
That's
like,
okay,
oh,
man.
great.
That's great. Help us out.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that we're gonna let you be in charge. So, you know, I mean, so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of there's not a lot of I mean, going back to fucking. I don't want to go back into andropause this quickly.
If it must be done,
I don't think so.
Let it be done.
No, I don't think I need to.
Because I'm going to tell you, like the turn on that pissed me off was Star Trek, right? Mm-hmm. Where in the original canon, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna like go off on this like crazy, but I'm gonna say this, you know, pretty loud and clear, right? James Kirk did not become the captain of the Enterprise after getting kicked off the Enterprise and just having a good idea, right, that supplanted all of the other officers and made him skip like 40 ranks.
Yeah.
You don't go from that to captain, right?
Right.
No matter what the circumstances are. You don't go in there and like, that wasn't what the story is like. Did you forget about all those years of hard work, all of the like learning and experience?
Oh yeah, 4 years academy doesn't even go by with a montage in that movie.
No,
So, yeah.
no, but they're like, we have to get you in the captain chair. So like, the answer has been within you all along. You were a rebel as a kid, and now that's going to work on this star.
Here's your apple. Chew on it while you're taking this test.
Oh,
So,
right, right. And they didn't even really go into that. It's just something they threw away, and that's the thing where you take the look at the old version and you look at the new version, and you had a lot of like ex-military vets and stuff writing for that show, or people that grew up in that era.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, like, duty and service is like a big part of this. And then, the fucking idiots that are on strike now, it's like, no, like, it's like, this is this is militaristic. I'm like, yeah, it's military shit.
It's gonna change though, man. So if you look at the next crop of writers who are gonna come up, man, these guys gonna be who are like fucking Afghanistan.
You guys, the biggest fucking
Yeah.
pussies on the planet.
Huh?
You guys are the biggest fucking pussies on the planet. I can't believe, you know what I mean? That's how they're gonna come in.
Oh yeah,
looking
exactly.
at that crowd.
Yeah. So, if it even takes that long, I don't know. So, I don't know, but. All right, I'm done with the underpass. I'm good. That was just a little hot flash.
No. It's fine. It's fine. And it's not just this is not a kids these days kind of thing. It's I've made this bitch before. It's the Katy Perry thing. It's like, believe in yourself and you can achieve anything. I'm like, yes, if you are Katy Perry and look like this,
Yeah, right.
but I'm sorry, this poor little dumpy thing over here is not going to get where you are just by being herself. Being herself isn't working. And to tell you the truth, it doesn't work for most of us. That's not to say that you stop being yourself, but like, I could be myself with some more like programming knowledge. I can still be myself.
Great. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
With a forklift license or a class,
license,
or a class
yeah.
A or whatever, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm still me.
Yeah.
I'm just me who can drive a commercial truck.
The learn to code thing is so fucking ironic now. It's hilarious. So I've seen so many people make that connection. So I was like, well, you guys better learn how to code. You guys remember that?
Remember, you couldn't stop saying that enough last time.
That, yeah.
Well, it's the same, like the same. This is from watching the Orwellian nightmare of old Twitter, right? When I was setting up burner accounts to harass people, because I knew I would be destroyed by the powers that be, to see that things change. Where the argument has flipped, because at that time where people were like, why is this guy allowed to wish death upon this dude just because of the party that he's in?
Right.
Like, well, we don't see a violation here, right? Whereas some dude would be like, I wouldn't mind seeing Dianne Feinstein, suplex from the top rope. They're like, you're gone, right? So that was the thing. They'd point out these hypocrisies, and they're like, what are you doing? And the answer was always on that left side, super duper dumbass left side, was always, it's a private platform, right? They don't have to adhere to it. They can just, do that. So when somebody bought said private platform,
like, I actually agree with that argument. So, but turnabout is fair play. So
absolutely,
yeah. So I mean, if it is it wasn't a private platform before; it was a public corporation. So now it's a private platform.
It's way private.
Yeah, it's way private. I saw someone the other day, who used to be one of those Twitter warriors back in the day.
Retired?
No, but he was making this comparison. It was kind of like, so the Nazis take over France, and you're part of the resistance, and you're the resistance for many years, and then the Americans show up, and everything's different. But I miss fighting Nazis. It was like, yeah, I can see that, man. And I saw that. What is the other one? What's the Zuckerberg one now?
Oh, Threads.
Threads. Like, so some of the lefties that I watch immediately migrated over there.
And they're talking to nobody.
Well, they talk to themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so I noticed that. Uh, yeah, and it was kind of, even one of them was kind of like, yeah, it's boring over here. So she said the one thing that she did like about it, she says, well, it's linked to my Instagram. That's kind of nice. So I was like,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. So, but
Well, I joked about this a long time ago, where before any of this was even just a glint in anyone's eye, right? I remember telling you about the concept of how awful Republic Twitter would be, right? And then it came out,
oh yeah, and it was just as awful. So
and I went and checked it out. I'm like, no, man, I don't want to hang out here. This is a circle jerk,
yeah,
right? I'm not going to get any traction in here.
you're not gonna truth things out, you know?
No. No, of course not. So, like, the thing is, what you want to do here, and this is where, look, man, you and I both know that it is good for baseball, right? For the Yankees to have, like, a 15-year stranglehold on the AL East for a while, right? Not for just the Yankee fans, which I know you are, of course, and that's fine. You enjoy that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You enjoy that, okay? In the same way that I sat there and watched, like, the Patriots eat the breakfast of every NFL
Everybody,
team
yeah.
for, I don't know, since we had Twin Towers, right? But that's,
That was about then, yeah.
no, it was that year. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
it was
okay.
the year of that. So I'm aware of that, and it does two things. Number one, it's good for fans of that, which is cool. It makes people also hate those fans, and it makes the rest of the league or the rest of the people out there sort of like come together. How do we beat these guys?
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, you don't just want a completely open, like, I don't know who's good, who's not. You need actually some groups to come and go. It needs to shift where, yeah, it's a 15-year run, not a 100-year run.
Yeah.
Right? You go in there, you bully some groups, right? It's the same thing. It's like, why do I still hate the 49ers? Well, because of the ownership that they had, right, over the entire AFC, during the 80s and into the early 90s,
Okay.
right? I still hold a grudge about that. I never root for the Niners to win,
Oh.
right? But that's the thing, is that was good for football, just like the Steelers, just like, I mean,
Jerry Jones. Yeah.
yeah, and the Cowboys, right? Having runs there where the power shifted, but you still remember these groups, right? And when, it's kind of flippant, I was like, well, so it's a different forum now, right?
Yeah.
This is better for discourse than it ever was when it was just running the table. It's okay to have that for a while, right?
Yeah.
But it gets better after they've run the table for a while and now things sort of clear out.
Yeah. I don't even know how much people will be talking about it in 6 months, to tell you the truth. Maybe Threads will find its own place out there. It'll be where your mom posts, whatever.
My mom?
Or my mom, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe your mom.
Yeah, but or maybe it'll turn into something else. You'll actually have lib Twitter out there, So
Yeah, that was supposed to be Mastodon or Blue Sky.
Mastodon was so poorly constructed, it was impossible.
It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, I actually did some looking into that, and then as soon as I realized, I was like, oh wait, this is just like fucking Discord. This is not going to work.
Yeah.
Because we have something. It's
Yeah.
called Discord, and it is a roiling shit show. So
Everything that you do in Discord, even if it's not with pedophiles, is pedophile adjacent in one way or
it's in
another.
there somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether or not you see it, yeah. So,
Yeah.
So you never know where it'll kind of fit, but I don't think people...
So is Telegram.
Telegram. Oh my gosh, man! Telegram is so... What's the word? Raw.
Yes.
Yes, it is so raw.
Yes.
I mean, it is. It's like
Yeah, that's what I like about it, but that's also
it's
the problem with it.
Yeah, it's like, what was it? The Chinese. They had the two types of, like, Mongols, cooked and uncooked. That's uncooked. Yeah. Those are uncooked barbarians over there.
Yeah.
That is where I get a lot of my Russian information, though. So it is. It's
It's the frontier.
It is. It's the Wild West. 80 I'm sorry, 90% of the shit you read on it is bullshit. So
Yeah.
it is complete bullshit. So it's like reading the Thrifty Nickel for the ads. You know, there's a lot of them in there.
Look it up, guys.
There's a lot of them in there. You gotta find the exact right one you're looking for, man, for it to be worth your time.
What do you mean you want me to buy it sight unseen?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's a weird request.
it's a weird request.
No, you're right. It's nothing but it is all just unpolished diamonds, man. It is, and some of those, I mean, a lot of it is fake. A lot of it is like fool's gold. A lot of it is trash.
A ton of it is fake.
But
So,
there are nuggets out there that you're not going to get
yep.
through other places, and there are also, like I said, there are some gems of human beings out there. But man, is it also a shit show.
That yeah. So I mean, that place is. I mean, it is the Matrix, man. So you know most of them are bots. So, you know.
In one way or another,
In one
no
way or
matter
another.
how you want to slice
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, there are a few people on there that are worth listening to. So, because it's interesting, I didn't really know about them until I would see things from them on other things that I watch. I was like, oh, you're watching that guy, huh? Maybe I'll go watch him too. You know, kind of thing. I was like, all right, this guy's pretty straight up. Got it. So, oh my god, do people fucking hate this dude? Okay. So, maybe there's a little truth being, spoken here.
Dude, and what the other thing on top of that is, it's also, I would be so reluctant to have an actual, like, open or casual conversation with someone on there, because I'm like, you're a Fed, aren't you? You're just fishing for
On
crap.
Telegram?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's where they're looking for garbage like this, right? Because other stuff, people are well versed of, like, I'm gonna hold back on my assassination attempts here, right?
Oh,
Twitter
yeah.
keeps pretty good records of this kind. I can delete it, but I know that they still have it. But Telegram, maybe not the same thing.
Let's move over to Slack.
Yeah.
They can't track that.
You know what? They can't, because Slack is such a piece of shit bit of software. I think if they audited it and said, we need to find a message on here, I don't think they
Oh
could.
no, you didn't read all the TV stuff yesterday. Then that actually did happen yesterday. All that shit about the COVID paper.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, that's
fuck,
great.
I missed that.
Yeah, it's great. You can go check that out. I'm sure he tweeted it out. So, yeah.
no, I'm just talking about Slack being an absolute piece of dog shit
I've used
software.
Slack in the past. It's terrible, but it is absolutely traceable. Yeah. So, it's like, let's switch over here because they're reading our emails. It's like, they're reading Slack too, buddy. So, obviously. So,
Look, man, they eventually infiltrated the dark web, and I know how difficult it is to navigate there.
yeah, I don't know anything about that. So,
All right, so I use it a
Yeah.
little bit with just like the Tor browser and stuff.
yeah.
The difference here is, you have to know where you're going,
Right, yeah.
right? There is no, you can't just go onto Tor and go to, like, I don't know, dark web seers or whatever, like whatever fucking, like, bullshit that you're gonna go look over there. It's like, okay, well, what I want is like the auction sites for, like, I don't know, 6 hours or something. Just it's
Yeah.
not how that works. You have to know where you're going.
Yeah.
And you have to get to know the people there and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And they're gonna be like, I don't know you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who got things wrong about the dark web for years. So they said, well, it's like the iceberg, and so the actual web is the top, and it's like completely backwards. So because you're right, you actually have to know where you're going. So there are a lot of people who will wait to vet you. So before, yeah, no. So I talked to this guy that I worked with. He's big on that stuff. He's a cybersecurity guy. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
spends a lot of time
Yeah.
on the fucking dark web. So.
I mean, so much to the point where because it's so tight knit and so dangerous in terms of, like, the people that are actually pursuing things there, it's actually sort of not a big deal
Yeah.
because it is so underground. It's not something that can bleed out into the open and be a problem,
No.
right? Now, on the other hand, when they had, like, basically like pedo rings and stuff like this on regular social media,
Right.
that's a
That's
problem.
a problem.
Because that means that you can Google this shit and find
You
it.
can find it. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else that is literally just basically like a handshake club, yeah, it sucks. and bad stuff's going on, but it's not going to be as widespread.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. This guy was talking to me a while ago about how easy it is to get a fake ID once you're actually in there. So he says it's almost fucking impossible unless you're actually in those circles. So you got to be handshake over by somebody else. So, or they'll act as an intermediary for you.
Yeah.
That was actually one of his specialties, was actually like trying to figure out how they were manufacturing these. So, because they were doing it for security clearances.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, Telegram's about as far as I'll go. So, and even that's not a good place to be. So,
Well, I'm not going to hang out there.
no,
I mean, the
absolutely
only
not.
the only groups that I'm going to hang out there with are constantly posting that gif of the bear drinking piss. So I'm not going to waste
Oh,
my
yeah.
time in stupid, shit like this.
Yeah. No, I gotta pare down some of the people that I've been listening to. I gotta go through my list and actually call a few of them. So, some of them have been corrupted. So, yeah.
What virus have they been infected with?
Well, a lot of it now it emanates from Telegram, so they fall victim to Russian disinformation, which is a real fucking thing.
Like, willingly?
Oh yeah, willingly. Yeah. So, it's like actually it takes you about 5 minutes to figure out where that came from. So you didn't even do that, did you? Did you, Jimmy Dore? So
He's just a guy to himself at this point.
he kind of is. He's like Pluto. He's out there somewhere. He might be a planet. He might not be. You never know.
Just depends on how old you are.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
every now and then he rotates around. It's like you just wave at him. So
No, it is. I mean, to me, this is the fun thing right now is to see it long enough to watch the different agencies, the different groups, the different institutions be basically shuffled around and owned and disowned by various parties at this point, right?
like what?
Well, I mean, so let me go back to like where we were when we were younger, and then as we got older. So like seeing like the Young Turks being excommunicated from the left.
Oh God, yeah, they did blow up this weekend, didn't they?
It's
Yeah, Anna Kasparian got thoroughly. I don't know what the word is.
shellacked.
Shellacked. Well, it's almost like. Oh, you didn't watch Game of Thrones. So,
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay.
You can still make the metaphor
Yeah. So.
because everybody else watched it but me.
Yeah, that's okay, man. You didn't really miss that much. I mean, it's really great build up for a really shit-tacular last season. So, but anyway, it's almost embarrassingly bad. So, But she's the one that everybody's hurling shit at in the street now.
Yeah.
So and I mean, so a part of that's kind of like ha 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 ha, and then a part of it's like, ouch, man. That's like it got you too. So.
Well,
I mean, you talk about someone who, yeah, even like, what was it, a year ago, we were talking about this here. It's when she was going after Jimmy Dore so bad.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and now that dude is like, I mean, I don't know where he crossed the channel and swam back around to the other side, but he did it somehow, man. So, I have no idea.
he didn't do anything differently either.
No, not really. So, but then, yeah, Anna Kasparian got it. And I mean, God, I can't stand Cenk Uygur.
No, not even a little bit.
Man. You talk about Krispy Kremes the other day, man. He looks like he's glazed now. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is no version of this where I saw him as like the epitome of health. Like every time.
Yeah, didn't you want to fight Joe Rogan once? That would have been great.
Dude, no, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like your mind just like makes metaphors and like you're just you see every now and then you see a person and you're like, you are like if syphilis had a body, you would be it.
Yeah,
right? You just see
Colorado.
somebody and yeah, you're just like, God damn, man, just you look gross. But more to the point, I mean, like when Anna Kasparian, like when she drew a line in the sand and she says like, you will not call me a birthing person, right?
God, that's so easy though, man.
And the fact that is what got her thrown under the
a
bus.
birthing person, yeah.
It's like, you're not going to take away my entire experience as a woman and call me a birthing person. And they're like, you're out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. Because we watched it happen to J.K. Rowling, right? Where,
oh, that was a while ago though. But
well, that's what I'm saying is, so we go from this point where I got to tell you, like, when we came into this point, like, remember, like the Eisner days, when Disney was known for wholesome family entertainment. They were not political. They were seen as like, oh, you guys are like, you're boring, you're safe, you guys don't ever, blah 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 blah, right? And now somehow you're a political entity, right? And it's the same thing. Like, we're Rowling was a darling of the left for a while because she was huge on like women's rights, women's services.
She was fine with anything that had anything to do with gay or lesbian.
She
had lesbian characters in a fucking book. She made like the biggest guy, like fucking Dumbledore, gay.
Now, granted, there was no exploration of this, I understand, in the books.
No,
where
it was in the subsequent series.
Yeah,
yeah.
Where even she just like said, and even afterwards, like she was like, well, I wrote these characters this way. You want to see them as black or whatever? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was
They're black if you want them to be. Yeah. And then suddenly she's like, same kind of thing. It's like, well, if you call yourself a chick, it doesn't mean you're a chick because you haven't been a chick the whole time, right? And they're like, get the fuck out of here. She's like, and they're like, give us your awards back. She's like, fucking come get them. They'll be out on my front yard in the bulk pickup bin. And she's like, if you're curious about how I'm doing, look in the window where I'll be fanning myself with my millions of dollars, dickheads. So she refused to go away. I mean, that's the thing is we've watched these people turning it, like, eaten by their own, and God, it's hilarious to me.
Dude, it's the French
what
Revolution
you get
over and over and over again, man. So yeah, and it's so unsustainable. It's not even funny. So the Navy finally pushed back. So last week,
did they? What did they say?
They said no, absolutely not. You guys cannot serve on submarines. So, and then after a day, crickets. So
what was the problem?
1 in 8 sailors who are transgender serving on submarines. So, it's always been almost an exclusively male thing. Women have only gotten into it like the last 10 years, so if that. So,
and how many of those have had lawsuits and disciplinary action to follow?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that I don't know. So that was more of a service requirement thing because it's such a bitch to recruit anybody anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So, especially the Navy. The Navy's dying for recruits. So, I think they upped their age to 40 now or something.
Really?
Yeah. So, something like that. But yeah, no, they had this reputation because of that influencer and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, last week they're like, no, we're not going to do that. So, yep, okay. Submit your letters, call your congressman. It's fine. So, we'll talk about it. So, you guys are not going to join anyway, so fuck off. So yeah,
right, that's the same thing. That is the exact same point that I made with Bud Light. Was
you're not going to drink it anyway. Yeah. You did make that point right here on this fucking podcast.
I'm sorry, there is no version of this where you will be seen as an alternative or again, this is all right. And again, this is the same thing. Like, I know people will dispute this kind of back and forth, but yeah, there are certain things, especially within the sports organizations, right? The NFL and the NBA, man, they have problems with this. They have problems with retaining audiences now.
Yep.
And yeah, part of it is the segmentation of the market. Part of it is, it's like the dilemma. The thing that was getting Will to pull out some of his beautiful hair was like, wait, so I have to go here to get the NFL ticket now, or
oh man, it is expensive too.
It's not just that it's expensive. Now it's in a different place. Yeah. Now it's wait, I have to have this service now and all this other shit. Whereas, look. In 2000, you and I are like, you want to watch the game? It's like, yeah, it's on everyone's TV.
Yeah, it's on 13.
Right. Or you 11. Can watch it on 11.
Yeah.
Or 5.
5.
Right?
Yeah.
Monday Night Football was not an ESPN thing for a long time. It was
No,
like there was no
ABC,
cable,
man.
right?
So for decades,
So
Howard Cosell. So yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah, so like fracturing the NFL and the NBA. I mean, the NBA is a little bit different. So because it's always been a localized sport for everybody.
but there is a component of it where yeah, it's kind of falling apart in some ways because they're like, look, no, we have all these people under our command, but we want this market.
Yeah.
So we're gonna assume these guys stay and never leave, but we're gonna open this up to try and get people from over here. And you know what? It's not working.
It's not working. You know, I mean, they did make a little room for Ice Cube in his 3-on-3 league there. And I think they saw the danger behind that, so they quickly closed rigs behind that. Yeah. So he was on Rogan bitching about that a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, he was. He's like, well, they just won't give us a chance. We just want more basketball out there. It's like, no, they want less basketball out there. So, you know,
Yeah.
and so this should make perfect sense. The same thing's true with football. You know, it's the reason why XFL and shit like that has never really kind of taken off because I think they know where their bread is buttered. So, and everybody saw what happened with Bud Light now, so they're going to chill out with it a little bit. At least I would if I was in charge of the NFL. So,
Yeah, we're not though. Like,
no, we're not. So we can just throw rocks as they pass by.
well, yeah, we can throw rocks, and I think the worst thing that any company could ever do would be to hire both of us on the same day,
That'd be
so
bad.
that number one, we'd both be working there. Number two, we wouldn't. Neither person would have seniority to overrule.
Oh shit! Yeah,
person.
it's like fuck you, man. We got to rotate between day and night shift now. So, what's your seniority date today? What's yours today? Fuck. So,
Because I can't imagine the boardroom that you and I are both working in where I'm trying to explain to you that no, baseball is an art product and needs to be treated.
right? Yeah, it's such. Yeah, in its purest form. So get rid of the lights. No more night games. You know, I want to go back to my dad. So,
All right. This I don't think this was as grumbly a session as last time.
no,
Did we?
I think I got most of my grumbles out of me.
No, it was good. We had some good grumbles. Did we say anything positive though?
Today?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think we complimented tacos.
The tacos were good.
Um,
I don't know, man. So like, I think things are going pretty well, by and large, for me this summer at least. So
well, and to be fair, it's not our own like personal like diary. But I mean, how would you rate things compared to say 2021 this time?
oh, it's double better. So double better. Yeah. I mean, don't even get me started on 2020, man. That whole year can go fucking eat a dick. So
Yeah, so if I were to take you into the deepest, darkest trenches of COVID Africa, you know, essentially.
Oh my
like,
god, yeah, the heart of the darkness.
Yeah.
2020.
Are we
was just-
good?
we are way good. So yeah. So and that was 3 years ago. It seems like a millennia ago now. So
Oh yeah.
you know, but just like from where we were since then, you know, and I mean, yeah, there's still bad shit going on in the news. There's corruption and yada yada yada, and you know the Bud Light thing, and China is going to start a war soon, and you know Russia doesn't want to end its war, so you know there's bad shit going on, but it's not like it was in 2020. It's not even close.
What's the biggest difference?
People are like, so many people are over it right now, so they're just like, fuck it, it's time to get back to work. People are taking vacations this summer. They weren't doing that the last 2 years. You know, I mean, even at the bar, there are nights where it's like empty. So it used to be fucking packed all the time. So, you know, because, well, I don't know what's going on. And, you know, like, I'm working at home and I haven't got my job back, and now they're gone. They got their jobs
Oh,
back.
yeah,
And, you
yeah.
know, they're taking vacations and out playing golf or whatever and shit. So, you know, yeah, no, it's way better so than it was before. So, gas is still expensive, so but it's less expensive than it was last year. So
Well, and we are driving less, so
we're
that
driving a lot less. So
Yeah.
yeah,
so that I don't want to say it worked out for me, but it's not the pinch point that it would be for other people.
No, and I was even thinking about that yesterday. So like it was pretty toasty yesterday. So yeah. So I cranked up the AC. All right, and I was like, fuck it. We're gonna get this house down to 70 degrees, and we're gonna try and maintain the entire day. And so I did that, and I've actually got one of those thermostats that monitors your energy usage. And I went back and I looked at my fucking rate per kilowatt or whatever it is. So, and multiplied this out. And I was like, for $4 a day, yeah, I'm gonna keep it at 70 degrees in here, man.
That's all it was.
That's all it was, man. And I mean, everybody was, oh my god, natural gas is so expensive, and gasoline, blah blah blah, and electricity bills are going through the roof, and yada yada yada. I was like, nah. Think about it. It's like, are all the days of this month gonna be 95 degrees? Probably not. So, but even if they were, that's, you know, $120. It's $4 a day. That's pretty good. So, you know, I mean, I'd have to ask myself, really, like, do I need it that way all days? Or just days where it's like this? You know, I'm glad I have the option and I can look at it and not, like, think that, like, oh my god, I'm contributing to Canadian fires now or something. You know, it's just like, it's only $4 fucking. So, you know how much it helps if you just do the math on things sometimes?
But Patrick, it's the hottest summer of record.
Do the fucking math. It's $4. So,
okay, let's wrap it up.
anyway,
It's $4.
it's $4.
Right. That's words to live by. Anything else that you want to?
No, I rant over.
Yeah, your rant is
So
over.
that
I know how
was-
you
that
like
was
your
my
eggs.
optimism rant.
Yeah,
Rant.
I know how you like your eggs. Everything's good there.
Yeah.
So
The world's good. Stop freaking out about it. It's fine.
that'd be better once we start giving special military powers to the Walmart security.
They just need their own Pinkertons, man.
I'm not gonna fight you on that.
Yeah, they just disappear you. All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
Don't go to Walmart.